And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Elite Series League of Legends Division 2 with me, Fresh Tana. And together with me, of course, my co-caster, a lovely one, a humble one, a pretty one, it's Gucci.
Yeah, it's hello, it's me from the other side. I don't know how the song goes, but yeah, hello.
Me neither.
Okay.
I can't sing, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
actually.
Wait, I sang today and it didn't rain, so we are good.
Okay, actually, last Friday, where I kinda ditched Daniel because I couldn't cast with him and he needed to solo cast all of the games. I'm sorry, Daniel, I'm sorry. I kinda ditched him there because I was actually on a gaming day or something of my company, and in the end, like at the last 10 minutes or something, we played SingStar, and I actually sang a lot of songs. I don't know what the past form of singing is. I don't know, sing. No, or is it just sing? No, it's. I think it's sing, right?
No,
I don't know.
Song.
Anyway, my English is so bad. Anyway, and I sung "Just the Way You Are" from Bruno Mars, and it was amazing. I love this track, and yeah, it was actually duets with like one of the other dudes, and like we both sung perfectly. I like really perfectly, like, and it was a head-to-head race. It was so amazing. Just sitting there with another dude singing "Just the Way You Are" without a girl in the room, just two dudes. It was a perfect moment.
It was the bro moment, you know.
It was a perfect bro moment, actually. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, and I just checked. It's sing song.
Yeah, really? Nah.
It's sing song. I just checked it on the dictionary. It's sing song.
You are trolling me.
No, I can to you later. It's sing song. Okay. Yeah, but
okay.
But yeah, we are going into the match of let me just check again, of Dynasty against. Oh no, that's next. That's on Friday. Sorry, Dynasty against NXT, and that's for the third place. And will it be?
I don't know, but I want to predict something for the draft. Before we even see the draft, I will predict we see a Rel either as first pick if Dynasty is blue side, or we see a Rel ban, because Crab Lord and Humulu, they play so much Rel right now, in solo queue at least. So this pick is trained for both of those players, and we either see it banned or picked, I believe, in Rel at this match.
Yeah, she looked big in the first match. Did she got banned in the second against the Rift? Yes, I think so. If I remember correctly. Wait, let me check again. And she got banned from German JMGG. So yeah, I think in this patch she's probably 100% ban and pick rate, right? She's so strong into these disengages. She has a lot more CC than before. She doesn't need items, she just needs health. And if there are two tanks and you ult the two tanks, you just steal their resistances, and yeah, hello, I'm the tank, and that's what we want to see. And there's the Ziggs ban against NXT, against Conrad here. And
yep,
there's the Rel ban. So
I predicted it. It was like, I'm just reading a book. I just know everything. Maybe. Probably
can you
not.
see into the future?
I can't really, but I don't know. There's a Olaf ban. So probably just target bans on red side, on a blue side. You blue side, and you actually need to ban out like the OP champions. And I don't know if like Ivan, yeah, he looked so strong, but he also got got nerfed on this patch, so I don't know if he is so strong right now, but actually before this game I wrote with Fumulu, because he is like a good friend of mine, and he said that Rel and Ivan are like the top 2 turbo boosted strong champions right now, and that's the reason why NXT does not want to face it. And there's the Kale ban, because if you just look Ninja Tigers OPGG right now, you see so many Kale games right now. He's just amazing on this champion. And they actually ban out 2 of his most played champions, so they don't want Hasagi to be in a bad matchup. There's the Jax ban against Hasagi. And now the question becomes, what do you first pick? And it's actually the Nico, so it could be Nico jungle, it could be Nico mid lane. And if you remember, there was a game, Dynasty against Aurora. It was on 12-12, where Nico was broken, where LeBlanc was broken. Syrax played LeBlanc, Frankie played Nico, and even though he might lost the lane, he solo killed him twice or something in the late game. It was so amazing. Frankie is such an amazing player. So I really want to see his mid lane Nico again.
This is the nerf Nico, where you have still 0.5 seconds to react to the ult if you are cloned. That's also plays a point because why she was so strong in 13-11. And that just plays it out. You are playing on the 0.5 second nerfed Nico here, and next is taking the stablest jungler there is, the Maokai, and also the Victor again. I think the last 5 games I casted, there was 100% a Victor.
Oh, yeah, could be. And with Sejuani, if they want to pick it up, we would have like the 2 tank junglers, Sejuani and Maokai, who are both really, really strong right now, but they rather want to secure Renekton at the moment for Hasagi. And now the question becomes, I mean, you see basically mid lane and jungle, so you could definitely show where Nico stands and where Sejuani will be, so you don't need your flex pick, and that's the reason why they show Sejuani now. Sejuani Renekton, such a strong 2v2 on the top side, and probably we will see a top laner now for Ninja Tiger, just someone who can survive against Renekton in the early game, maybe even beat him in the later stages. And there's actually Renekton, Gangplank, and Gangplank could be a target for ganks, because yeah, he can always eat one of those stuns, but not both of those. And like there is a saying, just tower dive Gangplank. When there was the time with Elise Renekton, you could just tower dive him every single time. So Sejuani Renekton maybe a little bit weaker, but still it's a good combo to just instantly kill him. And that could definitely be a big thing for Dynasty in this draft. There's the Nautilus ban against both jungler, against both supports actually. They both have most played Nautilus. So just taking something like that out, and then the question becomes, Xayah or other ADCs are still strong as well, so just ban them out.
Yeah, and you see that what our Daffler talked about before, the AD carries don't. There's no have to pick AD carry, that you pick them in the first round. Now you pick them in the second round because you want to secure these safe picks. And well, the matter is still around bot lane, and it shifted a bit from the Aphelios and the Zeri because items are getting nerfed. They got nerfed. And that shifted a bit the pick and ban phase situation. You have like top, jungle and mid, and now you're going to the bot lane. So you will see that there will be more bans on supports and AD carries. And the Rakan is gone, Xayah is gone, and the Nautilus and Melio are gone. And you probably want to pick an AD carry now because the support, if you pick the support, you can be counter picked. You see the support, how do I explain it? The support manages the lane. It's not the AD carry, it's the support. Support is the master of the bot lane, so if you counter pick your support, you're kinda screwed in the lane. You don't want to be screwed in the lane because the AD carry peaks slower, scales slower, and you don't want that. So you take the last pick as support, so you can counter it. There is a Kai'Sa again for Dark UniQ, and Graplord could go for a Leona. Would not be that bad for the second engage, and so they have also 3 go buttons, but you also have the Alistar for peeling. But is there a lot of peeling to do with the Gangplank, Victor and Ezreal, or you go for an Enchanter? They are going for the Alistar, just be the beefy frontline and the defending Braum pick, or the Ezreal Braum. Can block quite a lot. Also Braum, they got a few buffs here and there. And now he's getting picked up. He was banned before. Now you can... And with the Engage Dynasty has Braum is a very good pick as a counter engage. Like he wants to be ran into, so he can kite with the ult and the Q and the other attacks and block with the shield.
Yeah, but also Braum is kind of good in those roams, right? And like Ezreal can be left alone on the bot lane just because he is kind of safe. And you already know that Dynasty could play around your weak side with Gangplank, so maybe a sneaky roam there, or maybe a sneaky counter gank with Maokai Braum could definitely swing the table for next. So let's see who will win this game, because right now Dynasty with 4 losses, they are behind next. So next on paper maybe the weaker team, but just from standings they are the stronger team. So Dynasty definitely needs to show us why they want to come back to the playoffs, and they have a decent draft, and I really like it. But what is your opinion on both of those drafts? Who maybe wanted to have the stronger one?
So with the Kai'Sa and the Alistar and the Sejuani, with the Renekton it looks like they don't have a backline, because Saya goes with the front line into the enemy backline to kill it, and Ezreal always plays, in my opinion, behind the backline, so he's the second backline you have, and therefore you can see it's hard to say. I think Next plays full kiting with disengage with the Braum and Maokai, and you can turn it around with the Braum and also the Maokai with the engage. And I think for Dynasty they play full on engage on these big team fights. They have a lot of AoE, they have execute damage. If the team fight goes well for Dynasty, it looks good. The longer the team fight gets, I think Next can take it away. So Dynasty have to win these fights fast, because when they kite, the Victor gets better, he's really good at kiting, the Ezreal is good at kiting, and the Braum helps with that, the Maokai can help with that, and then just the Gangplank, if you run into them, he has the Cax set up and you're getting bursted, and that's the thing. The next draft wants to be engaged, and that's what Dynasty are doing. So in my opinion, it looks better for Next. But if we go button wise, it's obviously Dynasty. But I think let's see how it goes. It could be decided in the early game how the Maokai and the Sejuani are ganking and who gets ahead early. I think that's the thing here. I think it's pretty even, because both of these teams have the plan on what they want to do, and that's the thing I think is going to happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I rather would like to play the Dynasty draft, because Gangplank needs to be played really perfectly. Ezreal usually as an ADC, as in competitive, I rather want the Kai'Sa, for example. We saw in the Rift game how strong Kai'Sa Alistar is, and that they even could win like those 3v4 fights, for example. You have Renekton Sejuani, which is just so strong in the 2v2. So for me, Dynasty kinda won it, and for me they are like the stronger team, but kinda like had a weaker start to the split. So that's basically what I'm seeing here in the draft. For me, the Nico, for example, is also a wildcard pick after the nerfs. Is she really that strong? Is she really that first pick heavy, worthy? So that's always like a wild card if you can play around her minion form, for example. If you can play around those sneaky bamboozles, then she might be strong. But let's see who can win it with this draft, because we are in game Dynasty against Next, and in our third game of the day, together with me and QG, of course. We already heard that he kind of favors the Next draft. I kind of like the Dynasty draft, but whoever can win this game is a little bit closer to the playoffs.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it depends on how the I still think it depends how the gangplank is played, and also how the early game is played. And we see
the duck, by the way. We saw the duck. The duck only spawns with 10% chance or something in the river. Maybe Rishi can go to the duck. She's in the bot side river. Bot side river. The duck. There she is. The duck. No. Yeah. Yeah, there she is. She only spawns with 10% chance. So it's a small Easter egg. Just map wise. I mean, it's totally meaningless, but with 10% chance, she is there. So you will not see it every single game.
So
that's what I want to say.
So we memed for the first game, we memed for the second game, and now Riot is memeing us for the third game.
No,
so
who
is memeing on the fourth game?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I mean, is Riot really memeing, or do I meme because I told you guys about Dark? I mean, is it a serious cast if I'm talking like 1 minute about the duck? I don't know. Maybe I'm memeing. Who knows?
Well, Flacket has a duck pet, so why not have?
Oh, really? I didn't know that, actually. Anyway.
Has a duck.
Anyway, yeah, welcome to the Rift Entertainment podcast, where you learn something about pro players like Flacket.
Yeah, and you learn English verbs. You learn the percent chances of the Riot games. You learn everything. Just come to the Rift Entertainment stream.
Yeah, amazing. Anyway, I believe, because both junglers start bot side, that we might see some trouble on the top lane. Like Renekton could just crash those waves in and then just let it bounce, and at the moment that's exactly what he does. Then Sejuani can be there for a gank, for example, and then when it could be a dead pirate. Who knows? But on the other side of the Rift, in those lanes with those two supports, usually the side who engages loses, just because if Alistar jumps in, he just gets instantly stunned and then basically pops. So especially because he plays with like Glacial, and as we can always just E away from him and stuff, so it's really dangerous to engage in such a lane.
Yeah, but
so
for Alistar it's interesting. You can play like 3 runes that are decent good. You can play the Phase Rush if the enemy just kites you away. You can play the Aftershock so you get more tanky, and you can play the Glacial Augment so your AD carry is safer. So you can. There are 3 playstyles in my opinion. I don't know if the Phase Rush is played anymore on the Alistar, but the Glacial Augment gives you access to Hack's Flash and all the inspiration stuff that's normally the best second 3, and that gives you enables you to take that 3 and just get this stuff for free. Like the material, the minion dematerializer, free boots. You can everything for making the game easier or the lane easier for you.
Yeah, there are even some persons, maybe not anymore, who sit on the minion dematerializer for the whole game just to kill super minions with it. I mean, that means that you probably are losing the game, so it's maybe not the best idea. Anyway, small engage here onto KT, and he might get stunned up, needs to flash, and nobody wants to follow it. So it's just one flash and one ghost actually down now for next. So really good roam there by Crab Lord, and they kinda secured at least some map pressure with those summoner spells being down now.
Yeah, they got double crap. That's double crap and flash. That's always good. Sejuani is ahead right now. Decent gold. The shoes are done, so she's faster. Some proxying happening here.
Yep.
They know Maokai's bot side. Top side is clear, nobody's coming.
And Hazagi plays a wonderful lane. I mean, just look at this farm. I mean, he sits at 10 CS per minute already, even in this kind of lane. Sometimes people say that Gangplank is really strong against those melee champions because you get poked constantly, and now Conrad might need to flash there, so one more summoner down. Hulu still wants to get into it. That's the instant stun, the first blood for Frankie. What a roam there by the Crocodile, helping his team out. Wonderfully played by the whole Dynasty squad.
Yeah, a top laner moving from the lane means getting a kill. This is just how the top laners play. Nina Tiger had to go back, so therefore the prior was on Renekton. He didn't need to push it in because the wave was crashing on the mid of the lane. So what do? Yeah, you have time to roam. You don't lose anything, and he goes back, TP's top, and now he's even more ahead of the Gangplank, and that's not good for the Pirates because it looks like Peter Pan. Well, how is with Captain Hook being scared of the crocodile?
Oh, too much lore, too much insider, too much lore for me. But there comes the engage of the cow, and she is angry. So in the end, Sejuani even goes over the wall. They try to kill Braum and they get him. So it's just a second kill. Some trading back from the Ezreal. Oh, he even connects with the Q. This guy is on fire, and maybe the cow needs to flash there. So at least one kill back for next. Really well played by the Ezreal player. Just he just connects with all those Qs.
Yeah, and there we are exploring the rift, and there's the gang from Hasaki, but the Frankie missed the root. and
with that, no kill.
Yeah, no kill. So flash done.
I mean, it was a good try. Flash into root, into Hasagi's stun, but if you don't connect with your Q, with your root, then you cannot connect with the kill. But still, I mean, Hasagi uses his prio really well with those mid lane roams. And I mean, that's actually a lane where you can do it, just because you can push in him. You don't really have this skill prio if you push him in, because every time you stun him, he has his orange shoes, so he will get out. And because of that, and you don't want to be poked too much, because the first strike is generating more and more money. So just pushing in and try to get something with your prio is the way to go. And I really like that he has this that he has this perfect farm already, because usually you kinda get to perfect farm after a couple of minutes, after 10, after 20 minutes, just because there are 12 minions per wave. So you could farm 12 minutes per minute, but or 6 minutes per wave, but 2 waves per minute, so 12 minutes per minute. But because of the first 2 minutes where there are no minions, or because of the first 1.5 minutes, you cannot farm, so you need to get back to this perfect farm after a couple of minutes. But he has it already, so he's just perfectly farming. And if you just check out all the other dudes, they have not a perfect farm, so Hasagi is just clean at the moment in terms of wave management.
Yeah, and it goes into the hand of Dynasty. The bot lane is still even. The cult is almost completed for Dark Unique. The Storm Razor is also almost done for... Oh no, or will it be a static shift? Is this AP?
That could be an AP Kaiser. But now they might get dove. There's Nico, there's Ichoani, there's Alistair Kaiser, but they don't want to because they saw QT, KT, and he kinda single-handedly disallowed them the tower dive.
Yeah, and... Oh, there's the flash from Conrad.
There's a flash, but he tries to get out of there, but the problem is there's an angry crocodile as well, so he kind of kites into the wrong direction, and now with that he's basically dead. Who will get it in the end? It's the crocodile. So it's another roam. He just is always in the mid lane, while Gangplank is kind of just farming, and now they try to tower dive Kaiser, but she has just instant cleanse, and now QT needs to get out of there because Kaiser is kind of angry as well, still has the killer instinct, so he could jump in, and there's the jump, there's the double knockup, so they might even get a second kill for this Kaiser, which would be big, and Dark Unique just collects it, 3 kills already, and this game looks really, really good at the moment for Dynasty.
Yeah, and that's the static shift for the Kaiser. If they now finish the call, she can get the item too, and I think it looks like an AP Kaiser if I'm not wrong. Also, with all these CCs that the other laners have, it's good to have that execution damage on, so if you go, we'll now see if it is, and it will be the static shift Kaiser. The minions, the minion damage is nerfed, there's no more AP ratio on it, but the auto attack still hits like a truck if you're AP, and now the Nash's Tooth is going to be built, and that's actually good. So who is going to build MR on next? Anyway, it's only QTKT who is going for Sunfire first. So for the first item she will burst almost everybody down, and that's the plan here. Pick someone, burst him down, come to the next, and so on and so forth.
Oh, they try to kill the cow, the stun connects, he has an ultimate, so he kinda needed to flash out there, but the Q connect and the auto attack, that's the kill for Ezreal, so second one. But in the meantime they kinda lose some platings against the Herald, but still was a good catch on Creplord. Drake is there, so we might see them taking the Drake. At the moment they have no prio, even though they have static, so they might secure prio now. But at the moment Next is kind of faster on the move. Now they try to tower dive, another one. Conrad is just a sitting duck against the crocodile, and now the Drake, the second Drake, goes to next. It's the next Drake for them, and now they try to connect to them, but Dark Unique might be in trouble. A lot of damage coming out from the Ezreal. There comes the kill. There comes the Nico with the double knockup. It's a lot of damage onto the backline. Ezreal needs to flash out, but still is taking down. And in the end, Kaiser even, oh no, it's double kill for Nico. It's a big mess, but Dynasty gets so many kills.
Yeah, and Frankie with the double knockup again to secure the next few kills, And then, as I said, the Kai'Sa was just going with the execute damage of the passive with these stacks. So yeah, and now it's Frankie has the rocket belt, so the ult hitting the ult is easier. He doesn't need to flash anymore. He can just use the rocket belt. And this looks very hard now for Dynasty, for next to secure the third place and don't drop fourth here. Or third with Dynasty.
Nico, by the way, in the mid lane as a minion. Always a little bit funny. But yeah, it's Gemtech Soul, by the way. Will spawning in a couple of minutes with the Soul Trade. Oh, he face checks the Crocodile. The question is, can the Crocodile burst him down? It's a lot of damage. Oh, stopwatch. That could be important, but no, it's not enough. And with that, it's solo bolo for Hasagi.
Yeah, and I think for Dynasty the Soul is going to be really interesting. The enhancement of the healing and shielding is good for Renekton and a bit good for Kai'Sa too. So she gets tankier, and I think also for the locket that's being built by Alistar and the healing that comes out. Yeah, it enhances it a bit. It's not that strong, but still enhancement is good. If you have 5% more, you have 5% more. There's probably the tower dive again.
And I can't.
They are not scared. The static shift is going to clear out right there. I think it's hard to dive a static shift AD carry, but they are still going for it. Yeah, Next has to come up with a plan at this point. There is the dive.
They tried to tower dive it, but in the end, I mean, Alistar could be diveable, but he still has ultimate, so not really. Ninja Tiger now in trouble. Can eat one thing, but can't eat another, so he just gets killed there by Dynasty. And in the end, Tumudo picks him up, and now 11 kills to 2. Another tower dive, but you can't really do something. So in the end, it's at least a turret for next. It's not the first turret, or could be the first turret if the hybrid charge is fast enough. Then Dynasty will secure the first turret. Yeah, it's the first turret, but the second falls rather quick by next. So it was a good cross-map play, but they lost much more than they got.
Yeah, Dynasty again with the cross plays. Next reinforcing the dive. Getting the tower in the end. No shutdown on Xayah. Already they want the shutdown on Kai'Sa here to get back into the game for the Ezreal. Where's Triforce now? There will be Dragon in 50 seconds, so you see the back timers happening probably now to get the item. QTQT has the even shroud now. So there's enhanced damage for his team. 2, will Ninja Tiger join? Probably, yes, TP. Hasagi is already there.
There's engage on Ezreal, and yeah, it's just a dead one. Hasagi with his third kill of this game, and now the tower might fall. There comes the Maokai ultimate, so they try to at least protect it a little bit. There even came to teleport from Hasagi. I don't know why I did that, but there's the knockup from Nico, so at least one more kill for Dynasty. So he needs to run away, and the turret, he is protected, but for how long? On the meantime, Ninja Tiger on the side lane could rush down this turret, or there comes a knock up onto Maokai. He might come away, or it's really close, but the Ignite, it's enough. And the Ezreal ultimate does not kill Frankie. Or even flashing over the wall, Dark Q with the kill on the Victor. 15 against 2. What a game by Dynasty. They're just smurfing on Next right now. Even though Next gets at least one turret on the side lane. It should not be enough to take Dynasty out. 6k gold lead so far for them, and it looks really hard for next.
Yeah, they aren't grouped that good. They fight 4v5. Hasagi doesn't need to be in the side lane. There was only the first outer tower going down, but they got the first dragon. And I think if they go up with the pressure, they want the soul too. And there's Hasaki getting caught.
But he's rather tanky and he's really angry, so he might can fight it at least 2v2, 1v2, but 2v3, 3v1 is maybe a little bit too rough for him, even for a big crocodile shutdown. Goes to a Ninja Tiger, so at least something. Next is fighting. They try their best, but I don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, and that was unfortunate that Dynasty couldn't do anything on the side lanes or across map. They just had to give it up for kinda free. There was no cross map play for Dynasty. So that was not a good death, as Baus would say, for the Dynasty here. If your team gets something on the side, it's a good death. You can play around that. But there's no deaths.
Yeah, he just died for basically nothing, and that's always rough. But I mean, it's not game losing or something. Drake is spawning at 3 minutes. Baron is up, so Dynasty probably should play around Baron with someone on the side lane. I think it's a good decision to send Frankie there because he still has teleport. Hasaki hasn't, so he will probably group up with his team, and then if they see an opportunity to engage, they might take it. Otherwise, they will just try to play with the split push. And if they see someone defending, or no, they just try to engage here onto the Braum, and Braum isn't like too tanky, but he still survives. There comes a Bola, but in the end, Crab Lord now against Maokai, and he is not tanky anymore. Ultimate runs out. So Asri actually gets a big shutdown. Frankie needed to teleport in, but they don't get anything out of there. So just full engaging onto Braum wasn't the play. There comes the knockup from Nico, but in the end, Ninja Tiger even got taken down. There's this exhaust in the clans, but with this Asri, I mean, he just takes them out one by one. Asri has so much damage right now, and there's the triple kill for him. What a winning team fight there from Next, and now they can just turn to the Baron.
Yeah, and they came back. The bounty is probably going to fall pretty soon. Now they get Baron. Even for it, they got triple for one dying. It's 3 for 1 here, and they get so many shutdowns. They get 2 to 3 shutdowns, and that's hard for the. That's hard for Next to for Dynasty to play against. They got ahead. Now they are even again, and that's hard. The Azrael is really strong. Also, the scaling from the from mid and bot is almost there. The Rabadons is here. The Frankie and Conrad are almost even. They have 2 items.
Yeah.
And you have Gangplank also with the second item and a last whisper. So the E's are going to hit tanks too. Let's engage.
Oh, there's a big blast cone, but it's just a Maokai. You can't really kill him. Oh, big ultimate there, big true shot barrage. The question becomes, do they want to chase it? I mean, they have Victor, so they have at least the potential to do that. Drake is spawning soon. They have a Ninja Tiger on the sideline, so some sideline pressure. I don't know if he still loses to Hasagi. We will see it now, but Hasagi is just too strong, man. He has so much damage up his sleeves. Ninja Tiger tries to outplay it, but it's nothing compared to Hasagi. So now they need to fight 4v5 because Hasagi still has teleport, and he now tries to group up with his team. That means Next maybe needs to skip this Drake and wait for the next one.
Yeah.
Ooh, big engage onto Maokai. That could be a winning team fight. From Dynasty, they just burst down Ezreal. That is the one crucial target they need to kill. So wonderfully played. And now they get a double kill for Kaiser. Another one for Renekton. And with that, basically, mid lane could be free. Okay, versus the Baron buff. They might not push that lane, but they at least get the second break.
Yeah, and it was a really good dive on Stoofless here. With the Kai'Sa, you are not in the back line, you can be in the front line. So that's going good for Dynasty to secure these targets. Raplot was on it, Hasagi stunned Stoofless, and then just got bursted down because there's no cleanse, he has TP. And he's now going for the Frozen Heart, as it looks like. So he wants to be... Yeah, that's actually not that bad for the Renekton damage.
Yeah,
So
but
the on-hit from Kai'Sa is magic damage, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's triple magic with Sejuani, or even quarter magic with Sejuani, Nico, Alistar, Kaiser even. I mean, she basically at the moment is only AP damage, basically. So
it's...
I don't know if that item is like the strongest in his tool case.
But
And
the Warden's main passive is on the on-hit passive is on Frozen Heart, so that's good against 4 of those, 5 of those, because they all do probably the most damage with their auto attacks. Not Nico, but Sejuani and Renekton and Kai'Sa, and also Alistar are also doing a lot of auto attacks. So you reduce that for the enemy. That's also not that bad, but yeah, it's questionable if you even finish it, because at this point it's really expensive. But yeah, he needs the survivability that he doesn't have at the moment. So
yeah, but I mean, he could just build Hex Drinker, right? Just against 4 AP sources, and he already built like the longsword, so now he has just a dead longsword in his inventory. He might need to sell it, or he can't really, or he needs to wait for the whole combined cost for the Frozen Heart. So I think with the longsword, maybe the Hex Drinker would have been slightly better.
yeah,
But still, I mean, they're still in game.
You can still cross build it. You go for the Hex Drinker and then you finish either one.
Yeah, but that means that you have like
yeah.
two half items in your inventory, and the combination costs are just higher then.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have to have more in the bank to finish the item. But that would be the hybrid resistance that you probably need against the Renekton and the Kai'Sa. He's probably thinking about that, but he's going back, and we will see what will happen.
I mean, in the end, last team fight, he's just building Frozen. I mean, last team fight he just got bursted down because he was kinda not really out of position, but still got CC'd a lot and then just died because Kai'Sa could just jump on him. So if he just positions a little bit better, or his front line maybe just blocks all of the CC, then they could still teamfight it, because he has plenty of damage, but he needs time, because Ezreal is not like a big bursty ADC. He needs a couple of Qs, a couple of auto attacks, and he needs to wiggle them down, and it's a lot of time which maybe his team does not have for him.
Yeah, they can't provide it. And with the Victor it's the same. He also, the DPS goes up the longer he fights. It's not a bursty mage, it's more of a kiting one.
We'll try to go for the engage, big Bola and the Renekton form the flank, but nobody really gets two. Oh, what a good Kai'Sa ultimate! She just gets into the backline, gets all of them. Victor still surviving, but in the end, Victor can't carry this team fight. What a big engage there, and especially like Frankie with the 3-man knockup into Kai'Sa, jumping into Ezreal. That was wonderful.
Yeah, and you were scared about Frankie's Nico. I think he showed up here with these ult engages, always getting 2 or 3 people. Now they are getting the Baron with all the melees. They can just shred it down with the Kai'Sa. They go back for the Gemtech Soul Point. The shielding is enhanced. The healing is enhanced. Kai'Sa has Rabadons in her pocket. The static is going to hit like a truck. The on-hit is going to hit like a truck. This Kai'Sa is on fire. Dark Unique again with the high damage profile probably.
Yeah, it's crazy what this man provides for his team. And now the Dragon, it's just a third strike for both teams. Oh, Bola just connected to the front line, nobody really dies from it, and at the moment nobody really can catch to this Ezreal, so he is just free poking right now. And you have 2 big ultimates, one big ultimate just used. So the Drake gets started, good gravity field, good poke there against the front line, even a good poke ultimate, and they just, I mean, they just lost the Drake for nothing, and that's, I mean, it's 23-8 and they just lost the Drake for nothing.
Yeah, what do you want to do? To get poked out and zoned like that, and if Humelu just Qs over the wall, he's probably bursted down and the Dragon is gone anyway, because it's 50-50. Do you want that trade if you're ahead and just give them a soul point? You know you're stronger, kinda don't need it at this point. It's good for the soul point, but this is also good for Dynasty. If they don't lose too much, they are still stronger, so they can clear this wave, get these towers for free because they are not threatened. The fight panned out bad for Dynasty, so they don't want to take the fight. It's a good decision.
But I still have Baron buff, so they can try to siege this mid lane turret. And
yeah, and
at the moment, that's all I need to do. Just poke the turret with the siege minion.
Yeah, and also Kai'Sa poking with the W's, and if she hits it, she's getting rewarded. That's the AP build right there. Also with the attack speed, she is also visible, so she's harder to hit. And the poke is good for Dark Unique.
Yeah,
good wave clear with 2 champs.
No, they just want to split all 3 lanes at the moment, just to use the Baron buff effectively, but just those turrets, they just hold. They just have enough wave clear with Victor, with Gangplank barrels. You could just see that Gangplank now with 4 items actually can hold Renekton on the sideline, so, and with that they just scale up and just scale up and just scale up, and somehow Dynasty is not really finding an opening so far, and I believe that they definitely need Frankie to just find a miracle engage onto Ezreal, because they have just a lot of frontline, so Ezreal probably is never being engaged by Sejuani or by Alistar. He's just sitting too far behind, and as long as he does not get CC'd, Kai'Sa can't jump on him, so they might need a flank by Frankie or by Hasagi to find a stun, to find the burst, because otherwise this Ezreal will probably just kite them and just kill them one by one.
Yeah, if you can peel the Ezreal, he's just hitting it. Yeah, that's what I talked about in the pick and ban phase. And next wants to be run in. They want to be engaged, and the Ezreal and the Victor are now scaled so good, and the rankedness falling off pretty throwing off right this point. So who is ahead? Even if they're 5k ahead, they are not ahead, if you know what I mean. They still have to play around for these catches, but if Next just groups the whole time, they can't. The Gangplank can still cross map play with the ultimate, so he has some damage down if he before he TPs. Can clear the wave pretty fast with 1Q, and the Hydrite's probably gone. There's sustain in the build. This could go on, I think, still 5 minutes.
10 or 20.
Yeah.
We will probably see Soul, and after that Elder Track. So that could definitely be an Elder Track game.
I've yet to cast a double Soul Point game.
Okay, so you want Dynasty to get the next track?
Yeah, they are stronger in my opinion. Yeah, there's still level 16s coming in for Stoofless and QTQ. Then the ult hit better, less cooldowns. Dynasty's ahead in levels. So they want to trade Soul for Baron.
Yeah, I mean we already saw that Soul, that Baron can be easily left. Now they send Victor base to defend the Nico, and we have actually a Soul for Baron trade. I mean, Baron is kind of strong, but only for like 3 minutes, and then you don't have the buff anymore, while the Soul is endless. So just giving it away always feels bad, but Dynasty just knows that they can't really fight it.
Yeah, and you just give free damage with the Soul. You get 11% if you're half life. 11% more
11?
damage and damage reduction. So the Ezreal is harder to burst down. And he has the more finished. So how do you want to burst down the Ezreal? I don't think you do.
Yeah, it could be a rough one for Dynasty. Yeah. And this game looked so good, and I mean, if we just look at KDAs and stats, this game looks unlosable. But it's not about stats; it's about team play. It's about objectives. And as long as the Nexus stands, you will not win the game, right? So at the moment, Next really keeps it up and just plays it safe, and they do everything they can just to secure their 6th win.
Yeah, and then you see what team comps do. The counter engage comp of Next is playing out right at this point. They can't engage because they can kite, but they
engage onto Victor, but he instantly cleanses out. So no real threat. KT is just tanky enough for Hasagi. Oh, there comes the flash engage, and even the Kaiser tries to get onto Stoffels, but he is not defeated yet. Now they try to get onto Victor, but look at those shields, and Crablord already is dying. What a format play there! In the end, from the Nico, Frankie finds that Frankie will carry this team fight for his team. This guy is on fire, and Hasagi even finishes off his top lane opponent. No, he has not enough damage for it. Can Ninja Tiger defend it? Can he find the miracle? Miracle triple kill? But he can't. And in the end, it was Frankie all along. He found it. He killed them. Frankie just slain everybody with his 5-man ultimate in the last team fight.
Yeah, what a Frankie play. He played. He owned that Nico. He is the Nico. Who do you want to be? I want as Nico. You want to be Frankie. He goes off with this pick. That incredible. Every team fight he shows up and he just says, "We won when I hit R," and they did. Incredible. Yeah. Wow.
What a game! What a game!
What a game!
We have Crablord ready to go as our interview guest for the stream. So, welcome, Crablord. How was the game? I mean, it was one of our longer games, and it kind of felt like, I don't know, how is it to play such a game where you can't do something and then Frankie finds the engage and stuff, but how was the feeling in this type of game?
Yeah, we got some terrible feelings when we just content them with Baron. They're just one-shotting wave with Gangplank and Victor. But we just decided to wait objectives and end with our flashes engage.
Yeah. But what was the big problem in this game? Because I mean, you guys are so much ahead and got so many kills, and I mean, this game was kind of smooth sailing, and then it got hard. But what was the problem?
Well, the problem was when I engaged in Braum and we just lost Baron, we just lost everything, we lost tempo because we didn't one-shot him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after this we need to come back. Enemies have very good poke composition in TAS, so...
Yeah, also you played engage into the we want to get into a kiting comp. That also was the point why you had to be slower. Do you still think the engaging comp is better than a kiting one?
I think right now it depends of ADC. So we got Kai'Sa, we won't hard engage. But if we got something like Ashe, we could kite them.
Yeah.
But we just drafted full engage, and it worked.
Yeah.
Because we got Nika.
In the end, it worked out. Yeah. So like after the Nico nerfs, I at least from my point of view, thought Nico isn't that strong anymore. But you guys just first picked it and it worked out. Because Frank is just an amazing dude. But what is your opinion on Nico right now? Is she dead because of the nerfs, or is she broken like we saw in your game right now?
I think she's fine, not broken. But if you can play her, she will be really useful in the team.
Yeah, perfect. I have one last question. Crab Lord. Where does this name come from? Is there any origin story about this name? Any funny one, or is it just you took this name and it was just meaningless for you?
It was around because I love crab dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just decided. And I decided to use the second word, and I just randomized it.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of a random name for you. Okay,
yeah,
perfect. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Your next opponent is Aurora. Any thoughts on this match on Friday?
Aurora is not in very good form, like I saw in last games. But I think the match will be hard for us and very important. If we got it, we can get in playoffs. And also good game to NXT. They played really well.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Crab Lord, for the interview. Thank you for your time. And good luck on Friday, I would say.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, and with that being said, I would say we go into our last small break of the day. It was a long one, it was a long game, but we have one last banger match. Once Upon a Team against Pertinax. The battle of the weaker teams, I would say. But it's important because one of those teams might need to play relegation. So winning against your other relegation team maybe means that you don't need to play relegation. So it's important for both of them. Let's see, it's in a couple of minutes, but no, let's go into a break.